Can you freeze natto? Does Natto Kin die when it is frozen? By Natto Kin. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of the Ikigai diet and Ikigai biohacking. Alright, so I made a video on how to make natto from a wild plant. And I had some questions from the viewers, okay? So today, I'd like to answer these questions. Okay, so one question is, once we make our own natto and it is fresh, can we transfer it to another container and freeze it? I'd like to be able to cook a large portion and then save it for several weeks or more. Okay, so the question is, can we freeze natto and save it for a longer period? Yeah. Now, I've never heard of anyone freezing natto in Japan because when you're fermenting soybeans, it is already in a state where it can last for a while. Yeah, usually if you keep natto in the fridge, it can last for a week to 2 weeks. Yeah, but still, it is better to eat it within 10 days. I usually kind of eat natto within a week because I make natto once a week. So, you know, I kind of consume natto within a week and then to make the next one. Yeah, but I think you can keep it maybe up to 2 weeks or so. Yeah, but if you want to keep it longer, like for a month or something, yeah, maybe freezing is an option. Yeah. And now I know that some people do freeze in Japan, especially after the pandemic. Yeah. So during the pandemic, people didn't want to go shopping often, so they stored a lot of food. Yeah, and natto was one of them. So they just bought a whole bunch of natto and then put them in the freezer and stored them. So now people in Japan do freeze natto, and I tried freezing natto myself too. Then what happened was, so this is my homemade natto. So it is frozen. Yeah, it becomes like this. Yeah, and then it is the packaged natto, and it is like that. Yeah, and then so this is the one that I already froze and took it out of the fridge. Yeah, so look at that. Yeah, it just like regular natto, so it got back to regular natto. Yeah, so Natto Kin, Bacillus subtillis did not die. Yeah, and for the packaged one too, it, yeah, went back to the original state. Yeah, so what happens to Natto Kin, you know, Bacillus subtilis, is that when it becomes 0 degree, you know, like a freezing temperature, 0 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Fahrenheit, it makes something called spore. Yeah, and then kind of resist the extreme, you know, high temperature or low temperature. Yeah, and then so at that time, it kind of a Natto Kin is kind of a sleeping. Yeah, and then but when it comes out of that temperature, like you take the natto out of the freezer, and then it becomes active again. Yeah, so usually yeah, when you take the natto out of the freezer, you can leave it in a room temperature or in the fridge. Yeah, for maybe, I don't know, half a day or 1 day. It is usually better to take it out of the freezer a day before you eat. Yeah, but do not put in a microwave, or you know, do not heat it up, because when you heat natto, enzyme called Nattokinaze can be damaged or can be weakened. Yeah, with the heat. So you don't want to heat natto. Just yeah, leave it in a room temperature or in the fridge. Right. Okay. And another question is, How would I clean the yogurt maker after making natto? Do I rinse it out with water and a towel? If the natto remains in the container for future use, I don't want to contaminate it with chemical soaps, right? Yeah, so I said that when you make natto in a yogurt in the container anyway, yeah, so Natto Kin kind of stays in the container. So the next time when you make natto, you may not even have to put extra Natto Kin because Natto Kin is already in the container. So does it mean you need to be careful with the container? Well, you don't need to worry too much about it because Natto Kin is pretty strong. Yeah, as I said, it can make spore to protect itself from the heat or extreme low temperature. Oh, by the way, talking about the heat, yeah, Natto Kin does not die with the heat, yeah, but Nattokinaze can be weakened. So Nattokinaze and Natto Kin are different things, right? Okay, good. Yeah, but how about the chemical soaps? I would avoid using any kind of chemical soaps or detergent, that contain disinfectant, because disinfectant kills bacteria, right? So you don't want to use anything like that, yeah. And it is better for the environment anyway to use a biodegradable, detergent. Yeah, it is better for the environment. So you use, natural soap when you want to wash the container. Yeah, right. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy your natto making life. Okay, yeah. That's it for today. So thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of the Ikigai diet and Ikigai biohacking. If you want to know more about Japanese natural food, like a culture, please read the Ikigai diet. And if you want to know the natural way of biohacking yourself, please read Ikigai biohacking based on Japanese natural health. And if you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Yeah, what are your experiences of making natto? Right. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai!